America right now. Our next guests are artists who are spreading hope and inspiration as the arrival of Judaism is a watershed moment for religion and humankind. And now we are joined by painter Barbara Hines, sculptor George Tobolowsky, and American art historian Scott Peck. Hello, welcome to the show. We were kibitzing before because what you guys do is so interesting. And, you know, as an American and as someone who I feel represents, you know, an opportunity to kind of build bridges between the importance of the culture and the faith behind it in a way that, like, I feel like it's being lost in America. Explain from your perspective, because this is your world.
Yes, as you know, Emily, now more than ever we need beacons of light. And we are all a part of the Jerusalem Biennale here in Jerusalem. Which is a big deal festival. Every 2 years.
Yeah.
And so there were over 100 curators with representing over 1,000 artists. And they chose different concepts. And our concept involves Jewish artists in America, featuring 3 artists, Jeffrey Brosk, Barbara Hines, and artist sculptor George Tobolowsky, the 3.
So, okay, so being picked and being here, it's amazing. First, tell me, each of you, the inspiration. You're German-born, you grew up in Australia, now you live in Texas. So
right.
Explain kind of where this kind of inspiration comes from.
My background is Australian. I grew up in Australia, and I didn't come to Judaism till midlife. My parents brought me up in Christianity, and I didn't know about my Jewish heritage. So naturally, when I found out about it and started studying, it changed the direction of my art to becoming more religious art and focusing on Judaism, on Israel, on Jerusalem in particular, and mostly themes from the Torah. That's the inspiration.
That's really amazing. So given that you grew up with a Christian influence, but like going back to, you know, when did that change happen? Like where do you...
It was a long story.
Wow, it is. Yeah, we'll save it for another time. But what an amazing way to kind of channel this new information. And for you, you're like, I was looking at your hands. You have soft hands for given the fact that you work with all of this metal all the time.
I deal in tonnage. I go to scrap yards, fabrication plants. I'm what's called a found object sculptor.
Very clever name.
So I actually get inspiration from the object itself and the ability to mix one object to the next and build pieces. And I can build menorahs is what I brought mostly to Israel. And I build them out of found objects, tools, out of drill bits, out of wrenches. So welcome for anybody to come look.
This is really amazing, amazing. And what the inspiration? So you live in Texas. You grew up in Texas.
I grew up in Texas. I had a brother-in-law who had access to a junkyard. So I go in, I pick up a couple of 1,000 pounds of metal a week, and I sort through it.
That is amazing. So, you know, given like living in Texas and you're between Texas, you know, it is, you know, a Bible Belt state in a way. It's a big state. Is there, you know, what do we, you know, what's it like to be kind of part of the Jewish community in a place that is not New York, LA, where we know, you know, most of the Jewish people live?
Yeah, there's some great Holocaust museums in the South, but there's not really a museum that's devoted to Jewish art and culture. And that's what we fulfill at the National Center for Jewish Art in Dallas at the Museum of Biblical Art. It's in the heart of Dallas, right across from North Park, and it's a beacon of light in the middle of a desert.
And how much education, listen, I mean, this is one thing that we kind of have a responsibility for, is it's not just us touting our own art. It is meant to unite
and change lives.
And change lives. So I think, have you guys been successful in getting a lot of, you know, Bible Belt, you know, Christians who come and are also awakened, because it all comes from the same place. We all come from Abraham.
Absolutely. You know? So yes, it makes such a difference to people from all kinds of backgrounds, because we focus in on Jewish ceremonial art, we focus in on Israeli artists, and outside of Israel there's no one who's doing so much aggressive work about Israeli artists, as well as contemporary Jewish art. And these 3 artists are incredible. Mrs. Hines with her paintings, Mr. Tobolowsky with a steel sculpture, and then Mr. Brosk with these wooden sculptures. So we're at the Underground Prison Museum.
Yes.
We opened last night. We're through November 16th. There are 10 different museums that are part of this Biennale. The person who created this, Rami Ozeri, put this all together. It's a fantastic series of exhibitions.
It's really amazing. And what's it like? Is this the first time that you've shown your art in Israel?
First time internationally.
Wow.
Yes.
So last night was a watershed moment for you.
Definitely.
What's the difference, like, for you in the feeling for both of you and showing it here, which is the source of, you know, your inspiration?
For me, Jerusalem is the source of Judaism, of my inspiration, and where it all happened, Torah.
Yeah,
It's right here. Right, we're in the seat of it.
we are. And you really feel it, right?
Yeah.
I've had a show in India, so I've been doing some international exhibitions. But coming back to Israel, I had worked on a kibbutz in the early 70s and been here many times and recommend people come to Israel. It's just a vibrant economy and people. Dallas has a very strong Jewish community. 100,000 strong.
That's good to know. Thank you guys so much, really, and the best of luck. Again, you can see the Jewish artists in America taking place until November 16th, and we'll be right back after the break.